afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm wearing a big hat and big shoes. I think I'm as tall as the chai. I want to introduce myself. My name is Bernard Aduda, a physicist, but today turned a lawyer briefly. And I reside in Chiromo as the principal college of biological and physical sciences. I think I know some few faces here. And my worst subject in anywhere was biological sciences. So that's why God knew I don't become a doctor. But today I want to read the speech for the chairman of the Constitution, the chairman of the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution, Mr. Charles Nyastai, that was read at the launch of the Rapid Results Initiative on the 12th of August this year, and which is being cascaded to colleges and other units. So I read, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is a great honor for me to be at this launch on the Rapid Results Initiative on sensitization on the Constitution. It is indeed a commendable program that is key to the implementation of the Constitution. It is noteworthy that the University of Nairobi has had a distinguished record in so many areas, including research and professional excellence. It is also a fact that many great Kenyan leaders studied at this university, and this should be our motivation to continue striving for excellence. This Rapid Results Initiative is therefore another stride towards excellence by the university, despite the emergence of many other universities in recent years. I think here's an insider, we were 14 in Africa, but still number one in Kenya. And I think if you saw the ranking, we improved, but also other people improved. And I believe that as a university, I think we're going to work hard again to become better than what we are now. I also wish to take this opportunity to inform the university and the people of Kenya on the status of implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. As you are aware, the Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution is mandated to monitor, facilitate, and oversee the development of legislation and administrative procedures required to implement the Constitution. CIC is also required to report on progress in the implementation and including any impediments. Section 15.2d of the 6th schedule to the Constitution requires CIC to monitor the implementation of the devolved government effectively. It is against this background that I wish to inform the people of Kenya on the progress and commend the efforts of those who have been keen on ensuring that the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is fully implemented. I'm happy to report that insofar as legislation is concerned, we are on track, and the legislation contemplated in the 5th schedule to the Constitution has been enacted within the required time frames. It is also important to note that the institutions, including commissions contemplated by the Constitution, have been set up and operationalized. The latest being the National Land Commission. I think the chairman is one of us from the College of Architecture and Engineering. This is key as it will ensure that the institutions are able to fully carry out their mandates. In terms of devolution, CIC has been working closely with various organs in its monitoring role to ensure that evolution is done effectively. While strides have been made in the implementation, this has not been without challenges. CIC continues to address these challenges, which include the disregard of the constitutional implementation process and the mandate of CIC. A number of crucial bills were enacted without adherence to the laid down process, yet have a bearing on the implementation of the Constitution. In some instances, bills were not subjected to public participation or were submitted late to CIC. We therefore urge you as Kenyans to be vigilant and vocal on issues that are set to undermine the full implementation of the Constitution. We at CIC are committed to exercising our functional independence as guaranteed in Article 249(2) and to our constitutional mandate. As a public institution, it is important to understand your role, that is our role in the implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. As you are aware, there are many constitutional provisions that touch on education, though not specific to universities in particular. These provisions apply to the education sector as a whole, of which you are part, or of which we are part. The role of education and training in the overall development of a country's social, economic, and political spheres cannot be overemphasized. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 recognizes education as a basic human right and offers a solid foundation for the state's commitment to education and for extensive reforms in policy, legislation, and curriculum aspects of the education sector. The Constitution also identifies the state as the primary custodian of human rights and welfare, of which education and training is one of them. In particular, the Constitution outlines the following on the rights of individuals and obligations of the state in as far as the education sector is concerned. 1. Article 11 on culture recognizes the role of science and indigenous technologies in the development of the nation. 2. Article 33 specifies that every person has the right to freedom of expression, which includes A, freedom to seek, receive, or impart information or ideas. B, freedom of artistic creativity, and C, academic freedom and freedom of scientific research. 3, Article 43(1)(f) recognizes education as a basic socio-economic right for every person. 4, Article 53 provides for free and compulsory basic education as a human right to every Kenyan child. 5, Article 54(1)(b) provides for the rights of persons with disabilities to access the educational institutions and facilities integrated into society to the extent compatible with the interest of the person. 6. Similarly, Article 7(3)(b) of the Constitution requires that the state to promote the use of Kenyan Sign Language, Braille, or other communication formats and technologies accessible to persons with disabilities. 7. Article 55(a) requires the state to take measures, including affirmative action programs, to ensure that the youth access relevant education and training. 8. Article 56(b) requires the state to put in place affirmative action programs designed to ensure that minorities and marginalized groups are provided special opportunities in educational and economic fields. As you are aware, these constitutional provisions have to be read in the right context, and it is for our institution, as the university, to identify the relevant provisions and work towards the realization of these rights. As a public institution, it is expected that we will play a key role in the education reforms. In order to effectively carry out our role, it is important that everyone at the university understand their role clearly when it comes to the implementation of the Constitution. And this can only be successfully done through a thorough sensitization, which in our case is through the Rapid Results Initiative. The Rapid Results Initiative is indeed an ambitious but achievable task, as the success of the initiative will mean that the over 63,000 students, over 5,000 academic and non-teaching staff, and the over 146,000 alumni will have been sensitized on the role of the university as an institution in the implementation of the Constitution and on their specific roles. The Commission for the Implementation of the Constitution will be keen to monitor the initiative as a model example that could be rolled out to other academic institutions. It is also the expectation of CIC that through the RRI, the roles of the different actors in the university as spelled out in the Universities Act 2012 will be clearly understood and undertaken. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe that the RRI aimed at sensitizing us on the Constitution is the first to be rolled out in the universities in Kenya. It is important. It is an important starting point. As a public institution, it is almost impossible to successfully implement the Constitution without understanding the provisions of the Constitution and the different roles assigned to different institutions. It is only after one understands the Constitution in its entirety that one can be able to meaningfully carry out one's roles as specified in the Constitution and in legislation. The Rapid Results Initiative and the Public Service Integrity Program are just but two avenues in which the university can contribute towards the implementation of the Constitution. There are other avenues through which the university can ensure the effective implementation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Such avenues include: 1, the university's participation in the review of bills. Departments should endeavor to provide insight and recommendation in the development of relevant legislation, policies, and administrative procedures. Maybe I can pause here, and I know we signed with my colleague and others the performance contract, and some of the things we are saying here are captured there. A number of policy briefs emanating from our units are captured in the performance contracts, so we need to do quite a bit to score on those regards. 2, as an institution that carries out research, there is nothing that stops you from working with other relevant institutions, especially on matters relating to research. This means that you should strive to partner with and even other provision of services, accountability for administrative acts, transparency and provision to the public of timely, accurate information. Many institutions have since the promulgation of the Constitution made efforts to ensure that in the employment of the members of staff, that the principle of not more than 2/3 of employees should be of the same gender is adhered to. It is my hope that this is the case at our university, and I believe we are required nowadays when we do these appointments, we have to do the gender analysis, ethnic analysis, and there is a provision there for the Vice Chancellor to confirm that that has been complied with. So I believe my colleague here, Professor Kibwagi, that we are following so far the Constitution, that I'm a Luo, and if you employ 2 Luos, or say 3 Luos, all of them are from Yams, isn't it? So they are checking on that, and they are seeing to it how that the new employees you have, what's the distribution vis-a-vis the past, you know? So I believe we are, as a university, we are implementing this. So it is also expected that, as contemplated in the same article, that A, fair competition and merit shall be the basis of appointments and promotion. B, there is representation of Kenya's diverse communities within the university's faculties. And C, adequate and equal opportunities are afforded for appointment, training, and advancement at all levels of the public service, in this case the University of Nairobi, men and women, members of all ethnic groups, and persons with disabilities. Okay. 6, to the students, with your level of knowledge and language endowment skills, you play a key role in ensuring the Constitution implementation process remains on course and attracts enough public participation. 7, if you are keen on fully understanding and appreciating the Constitution, then the responsibility as a Kenyan citizen of disseminating the information to other Kenyans in your counties, since you will be better placed to inform and educate them. 8, with many upcoming universities and university colleges, the university has an opportunity to be the model university in terms of ensuring that all members in our institution, including students, fully understand the Constitution, their roles in the implementation of the Constitution, and are committed to promoting and adhering to the letter and spirit of the Constitution. A point of concern, we must acknowledge there is a challenge of ethnic division in the university. I think this is reflected during the SON campaigns, isn't it? So we can't run away from it. You must therefore embrace constitutionalism and patriotism if you will continue leading by way of example. As I conclude, I would like to keep in mind the following critical questions. What measures have been put in place by the university to prepare students to be leaders with integrity as envisioned in Chapter 6? I know for management, the student leadership are normally taken for training, you know? But sometimes that which they do is not commensurate with the training. Yeah, yet money is spent. I know efforts have been made to that effect. Does the university promote constitutionalism amongst its students, and especially integrating the national values and principles of governance? That's Article 10. And the values and principles of public service, Article 232, such as good governance, social justice, human rights, integrity, transparency, and accountability in its programs and activities. 3, how relevant are your curricula, teaching styles, and technologies, especially in the science and engineering related fields? In this case, I would also include the medical sciences. Are the curricula, teaching styles, and technologies adequately preparing our youth to effectively compete in the dynamic global markets? 5, how have you scored as a university in your efforts to adequately integrate persons with disabilities, either as lecturers, students or employees of the university, and in providing access to all the faculties. I know in one of our sister colleges, we have lecturers who are not able to see, and there are support services for them. Ladies and gentlemen, it is only when we all discharge our constitutional mandates that we can confidently say that the Constitution of Kenya 2010 is being fully implemented. Despite challenges faced in the Constitution implementation process, we must stay true and steadfast to our Constitution and secure it for future generations. Thank you.